In this video, I'm going to go over every single reason why your chord changes are slow. Everything in here is what people coming into my local guitar school have done or struggle with that's held them back from making these smooth and quick chord changes. The human hand works a certain way, and there's mistakes that people make that keep them from making quick chord changes. So in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, when someone asks me, how do I speed up my chord changes? I'm just going to say, go watch this video because we're going to go over every single one. All right, so let's get started. All right, so the very first one we're going to go over is the absolute most important one. It is so brain dead easy, but a lot of times people mess this up. It is you have to have the chord memorized. Doesn't matter if it's slow at this point, it must be memorized. If you're always distracted trying to remember, what to do or, looking at the chord sheet, and it'll always be slow, dude. So what happens is it's just like reading a book. If I put a book in front of your face right now, and you could instantly start reading it because you already know the words. It may be in a different order, but what happens is when you come to a word that you've never seen before, what do? You stop, you sound it out like you're 5 years old. If every word you didn't know, it would be a very painful process, right? That's what happens with people's chords. So when you play your chords, they must be memorized before we can speed them up. We don't care if they're slow. We don't care if they sound good. It must be memorized. First we memorize it, then we can speed it up, then we can clean it up, okay? All right, next, you've heard me say this a lot on my YouTube channel. The hand works like this. Look what's happening with my thumb. It's like this, right? The Italiano said it right. It's like this. Thumb here. What happens with guitar players is they put their thumb over here and then they wonder why their hand doesn't work. All human hands work the same. Unless you're an alien or something and your thumb's coming out of the other side or in the middle, I can't help you. But every person I've ever met, the hand is like, the human hand looks like this, works like that. So what happens is when you do your chords, here's a C chord, my thumb is literally right in the back of my hand. If it's over here, your fingers won't stretch, it'll hurt and everything else. So thumbs here, boom, 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 or C chord, da-da-da, bar chord, it doesn't matter. The hand works like this. Your thumb position is what is screwing you up, okay? Notice I did this, I didn't curl it like this, right? I'm not playing like this, it is like this. All right, number 3, so it goes like this. If you're playing some chords, people do this. You're strumming too fast. You don't need to speed up your other hand, your fret hand. You need to slow down your picking hand. So once you make the chord change, people go fast because it's just going up and down, da 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 da, and then they have to have this big pause where they change chords, and then they go. Brrr. You don't need to speed up this hand if this is the problem. It is slow down this one and get them synced up. Okay. All right, so number 4 is you're building the chord. What do I mean by that? Is you're going like this. I'll use a C chord again. Bum, bum, bum. That is 3 actions, 3 movements, 3 thoughts. You'll always be slow. It needs to be 1 motion. If you train yourself to do this, you will always do that. So you need to get and make 1 motion. All right, so number 5 is how you hold the guitar. It's your guitar position. This one is, I've seen it all, both with little children and even adults. And I'm just going to go over every little issue, and this is what real people do. So, number 1, probably the worst one. They have their guitar on their lap, and they're trying to do this. You can't even, I don't know if you can see my hand. And they wonder why their hand hurts and they can't hit their chords. Hello, it goes up like this, right? This little hip on the guitar, you can have the guitar like so, or like so. And, again, if it's like this, flailing out, your hand is not going to be able to get to where it needs to go. It's going to hurt. You're going to kink up your wrist. The other is, do you notice how it's going up? Look at any of your favorite players, famous players, I should say, that are good. Right? Don't look at Lil Wayne or whatever. It needs to be going up. If it's going down, same problem. Sometimes the guitar's like this, going straight down. And again, you're kinking up your wrist. It hurts, finger pain. Hands can't do what you want them to do. Sometimes people are holding the guitar. Look, you hold the damn thing like this, okay? If you want to be over here, okay, cool. Notice it's not straight out, up against your body. boom, angle, up. And what happens if your guitar position sucks, all you're doing is you're kinking your wrist right here. Kink that. That's a good way to get carpal tunnel, tendonitis, your hand hurts, goes numb. This is very bad. So, easy fix is you should just do this. Now, again, you can do this way or this way. If your hand hurts when you put it over here, do the other way. Number 6 is you are lifting your fingers way too far off the fretboard. So if you want me to play some chords, notice I wasn't going, I'm exaggerating, but this is what people do. They lift their fingers like way off the fretboard, and this takes time and precision to get back to where you need to go. Don't do that, right? This comes with practice and it comes over time. I mean, as you progress as a player, your fingers, you have more control if you're doing things right. But sometimes with beginners, they make things way too freaking hard. You know, they're lifting their fingers way off the fretboard. Boom. Just little itsy bitsy movements. All right, moving on. Number 7, you have too much tension in your body. I already alluded to this with the guitar position. When you have the guitar going down or doing this crazy stuff, you're putting tension in your wrist. It hurts. That's how you get carpal tunnel, tendonitis. It's not going to work. Fingers don't work properly, right? But sometimes I've had students where they just really want to be an awesome guitar player. And what do? They squeeze it as hard as they can, right? And they're trying to like crush the thing. Oh, squeeze it like a baseball bat. It's okay. Settle down, dude. You don't need to squeeze so hard. And that tension could be here. Sometimes you see it in people's necks. They're squeezing, they're flexing as they go. If that's you, take a break, shake it out. And depending on the person, I have had some people who just have they have so much tension in their body, and there's no magic scale, there's no magic chord, there's no magic YouTube video, unless maybe this one, that's going to help cure it for you. What you need to do is you just don't do that. So if you feel a bunch of tension, stop, shake it out, go again. And you're going to have to wean your body and wean your mind away from all this tension. I totally get it. Some people, they just want it so bad and they're so intense. And that's exactly the problem.
I love it. I love my little naughty Pat. You're naughty. And then I take my naughty Pat and I go. Oh!
So number 8, it is you're using the wrong fingers. So just because you can use the fingers doesn't mean they're the right ones or the best ones. And here's one of the most ridiculous ones. I was like, when people come to my school, I'll be like, why are you doing it this way? Who's teaching you this? And then I found out. I won't mention his name. But he does, for example, an A chord like this. And the argument is, okay, yeah, fine, it works. And all you need to do is slide this finger back, boom, and then go like this to an E chord. Okay, cool, yeah, that works for that one thing. But what about if, the other 10 million songs that have an A chord and then it doesn't go to an E? Oh, well, snap, right? Do you then have another way of fretting that specific chord to accommodate perfectly to the next one? And then you're going to run into a problem where it's going to be like, well, geez, I've got 5 different ways of playing the A chord. Why? You're making this way too freaking difficult. Use the best one. It's this one. This is just, I'm speaking about the A chord. Small fingers, because you got to fit everybody in there. Not this one, especially if you have big fat fingers. Like that. And then, boom. Watch my other chord videos. And yeah, we need the best one that's going to be the best for all instances. Not the one that's absolutely way better for that one teeny tiny thing. Does that make sense? So again, part of the reason why your chords are slow, you're using the wrong fingers and it's tripping you up. So I have another video on your basic chords. I'll give you the right fingers to use. Those are the best ones. And yeah, there you go. Very simple. All right, number 9. Now this one is what happens is you are arriving at the new chord and you're not prepared for it. So what I mean by that is, let's say we're going to go back to the C and G. And you move your hand to do a G, I can't help but do it the right way, so that doesn't help. Boom, you arrive over here, but then your fingers have to be like, oh wait, this one needs to be back, this one's here, then this one goes down. Does that make sense to you? So you jump back over here, and your fingers are not where they're aligned to be. I can't, and my fingers naturally do it because I've just done it so many times. So watch. Boom, when I go to a G chord, this will, as this one's dropping down, this one's moving forward and this one's going here. Bada bing. C chord, as this one's moving back, these two are coming here. Notice how this one's a little farther. You can't probably see from this angle. But they're aligning all at the same time, so when they get there, they're ready to go. If you show up there and your fingers aren't prepared, there's going to be a little glitch of then you showed up, get fingers prepared, and then you're going to have problems with precision and slow chord changes. So you must train your fingers nice and slow. And I've got the easiest way to get your fingers to do this. I'll put a link in the description below. I call it the number one finger exercise to speed up your chords. I believe that's what it was. I'll put it in the description below. That's the best one that'll train your hands to have great individuality and just get doing what you want them to do and not have this problem of you showing up to do the next chord, and then everyone's got to get lined up. All right? I'll move on. And the 10th reason is you need more reps. I can't tell you how many times I've had a student come to my guitar school and they think like, I don't know, like after doing it a couple times that they should be able to do it as good as me. That sounds absolutely ridiculous, but a lot of people think this. It's usually the little kids, but sometimes it's the adults. You need more reps, and what happens is people do this. They'll go... Alright, that took like 8 seconds? There was only one rep in there. Do you see the problem? Why don't you do this? Lots of reps. It's no different than exercising, dude. You do one push-up, it does like nothing for you. You need to do a whole bunch. You need to do a whole bunch of push-ups and build that coordination, build that strength. It's not a lot of strength, actually. It's mostly just coordination. And the last one is going to be you need to push it. So oftentimes people's chord changes are slow because they practice slow, and therefore they will always be slow. So there, again, we're using C and G. Boom. If you're always like, oh, I'm slow, always being so soft and slow, dude, speed it up. You need to push it and go faster. And the secret is you go slow, get it right, then push it and go faster. Then you come back down and you clean it up. And then push it and go faster, like so. Otherwise, if you never push it, you will always be a beginner. If you always push it, you will always be a hack guitar player who's all just, everything he plays sloppy and crappy, right? We need to do both. Get it precise and speed it up. Train your fingers and your brain that, hey, we don't got all day. You can use a metronome for this, right? Have a time restraint. You can do something like, all right, CG, just one strum each. How many times can you make that change in, let's say, 30 seconds? You would do this, then count how many times you did it. Let's say the number was 15, and then your job is to beat that score. Simple. Great. 14. You got better. 13. Sweet. Wait. I'm going the opposite way. You got 16 times, and then 17, 20. You get the point. Beat your score. And you'll get to the point where it's like, all right, you kind of hit the max, and who cares? I mean, how often do you see someone shredding with an open, like, chord changes? Most songs, you don't need to do these chord changes crazy fast. It's not as fast as you think. All right? Your guitar action. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. So your chord changes could be slow because your guitar is screwed up. The action on your guitar is how far the strings are away from the fretboard. I don't know if you can see me stretching that. Boom. That could cause some issues because you have to press much harder. I mean, I've seen some guitars or actions like crazy, terrible, and it's even worse when it's like a little kid guitar. Their fingers are teeny tiny. They're beginner, and the action is super high, making it hard to play. All right? You can get that fixed. Go to a guitar shop. Notice I didn't talk about having small fingers because that doesn't even exist. I know everyone thinks that, oh, my hands are small, I can't play guitar, it's super hard for me, but really the problem is it's just your thumb position. If I have little 5-year-olds with these teeny tiny little hands who can hit their chords just fine, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you're an adult, your hands are bigger than a 5-year-old. All right? So, it's the thumb position. Your thumb position sucks, fingers don't work. And you'll wonder like, oh, how do I get my fingers to do this? Well, you're going to have to break your hand, all right? Break your fingers because you're trying to go against how the human hand works. And let's see, the last one I want to go over with you, you are looking at your picking hand. So this is not really this problem. This is the last one. This is not really, again, a fret hand problem. It's a brain problem because if you go like this and you're strumming and you go to change chords, you're going to look over here and then there's a little bit of time where it's like a little a delay of you looking over here, dazed and confused, trying to figure out what's going on, eyes focus, okay, now you move, strum, and then back over here. That's not what you do. So, you're resting here, you're strumming, you need to be able to feel where your picking hand is, and then you just do it, right? But you got to go slow with it, and I've got even a free beginner's course on YouTube that you can work your way through. Very teeny tiny little micro movements, and yeah, do that. So, if you are, now you know all the reasons, and the nice thing is you can rewatch this video many times, and that's it. There's none else, dude. There's no other reasons. Again, I've been owning a guitar school at the time of this video for 12 years, and I've worked with well over 1,000 guitar players, from little teeny tiny kids to adults, you know, way up in the 50s, 60s, and the issues that they have, I've put them all here. So there's no BS, there's no me just coming up with some random thing to try and sound like, oh, it's a new age, whatever. This is what happens. You can watch this video over and over and over again, and you can even go through the beginner's course that I have, and I can work you through the process, building up some skills, all that stuff. And if you just want someone to be like, all right, dude, I'm going to take you even more step by step, 100% guaranteed you will get your chord changes down, buy my course. I've got a course called Ultimate Chord Training. I walk you through the process of getting your chord changes down and training your ear and your rhythm and your theory. So easy. That is it for this training. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. And if it was not helpful, let me know why. It totally was, but there you go. All right, so see you in the next video.